The next thing we have to do with surds is rationalising. And I know you guys will be saying, what the hell does that mean? Well, basically, you know how I keep telling you that maths teachers are a bit anal over things? Well, one of the things we hate is surds being on the bottom. So this is a method, basically, that just gets rid of surds on the bottom. And all you have to do is look at the bottom surd. So here it is. I want to get rid of that. Now, you know, to get rid of that, I have to multiply it by the same thing. So it becomes square root of 3 squared, which means it turns into 3. But you also know that DC's law of the universe says whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So then basically you're left with 3 times the square root of 3 over the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, which is 3. So the beauty of that is that can cancel out and you're left with the square root of 3. So you'll be saying, that's all good and well, Miss Cat, but what about if I have something like the square root of 2 with something that's multiplied by 5? Well, again, I only want to get rid of the square root of 2. So I'm going to times the bottom by the square root of 2. And law of the universe says, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do the top. So this becomes square root of 2 times the square root of 2 on the top over 5 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 2. And the beauty of this is that square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2, so that's the top. 5 times the square root of 2, so that becomes 5 times 2, which becomes 2 over 10. Is that in its simplest form? So that's the other thing you ask. Is it in its simplest form? No, it can divide by 2, and I get 1 over 5. So when you get something that's like this, square root of 5 over the square root of 12, the simplest thing to do for you guys would be I'm going to look for a square number. Oh, look, there's Miss Cat saying look for a square number again. So we know that 4 times 3 is 12. So put our square roots over it, simplify it, square root of 5 over 2 square root of 3. So I'm going to get rid of the square root of 3. Law of the universe says whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So now I have square root of 5 times the square root of 3 over 2 times square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. So I've got 6. Getting ahead of myself, I have square root of 15 over 6. Okay. What if I have something like this that looks a bit complicated? Again, all you want to get rid of is that. So again, you times it by square root of 3 over the square root of 3. Law of the universe, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do the top. The difference is now is I really need a bracket there. Inside the bracket is times by inside, and don't forget your signs. So in this case, it becomes 2 times the square root of 3 plus the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 all over 2 times the square root of 3 times the square root of 3. Again, I haven't missed out on anything, so I'll deal with this bit. 2 square root of 3 is what I've got, can't simplify. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3 over 2 times square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. So what I'm left with on top is unlike terms, basically, over 6